Hello, welcome to the 199 Unlisted podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. Usually wearing clothes, wearing a Kakashi pullover. Man, it's been really hot the past, I don't know, weeks. Man, I hurt my back again. If you're wondering why I haven't, you know, uploaded some videos, but, you remember like it was a couple months ago where I strained a muscle on the left side of my back. I don't know what I did, but it hurts. It hurts. So, it's just I'm gonna have to go through the same process again. I did nothing. Like when I first hurt my back, I did nothing like for a couple of days. No, I actually I didn't do anything for like about 2 weeks. Okay, but this time I'm just not gonna do anything for like 4 days. And then I slowly started exercising and fix the back, because like you have to rest and do nothing, but then you have to slowly work out so it doesn't get weaker. And so I'll just start the process over. And I don't know what I did. I'm pretty sure it's just from sleeping the wrong way. Because I've been getting a lot of sleep, but because I used to, if I slept the wrong way, my neck would hurt, but that's because I've told you that story. If you're a longtime listener, you've heard the story of my girlfriend pushing me down a flight of stairs. And I did some chiropractor. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I watched some chiropractor videos, and I'm like, oh, okay, if I just do like this and do like that, and I like snapped my neck, and it felt like it's good. Like I don't have that pain from that. But anyway, whatever. So that I just have to fix. I just have to rest and then start working out again. But yeah, it's just crazy how you can hurt yourself doing nothing. Because the only thing I did differently than I normally do is I just slept. And then I woke up and I woke up and I somehow strained a muscle on the left side of my back. I don't know. Anyway, I don't watch Twitch, but I don't watch Twitch because I stopped streaming on Twitch because since I don't watch Twitch, I figured it made no sense to stream on Twitch. But anyway, Asmongold got banned for saying something I've said on my YouTube channel dozens of times. And this my YouTube channel, I forgot how old my YouTube channel is. It's probably like 10 years old, I'm assuming. I mean, this isn't my first channel, obviously. But anyway, uh when I would talk about immigration and how to stop illegal aliens from crossing the border, I will repeat what I said. You have to treat the border like it's a border. You have to treat the border like, it's East Berlin, Berlin Wall, machine gun towers. Like you need to take the border seriously. The only way you stop people from mass migrating, aka invading, because like you saw what happened to Spain. See, Spain was invaded by, I mean, the number keeps changing. So I heard it was like 60,000. I mean, I'm sure it's more now, but when Spain gave amnesty to like hundreds of thousands of illegals, what do you think that did? It sent a message going, oh, everyone's welcome. And so as soon as they did that, you had this onslaught of illegals, and they're North African Muslims going into a Christian country. They're not going to assimilate. They're going to take over. I mean, I saw videos of them stabbing native Spaniards and like rioting and fighting with the police. It's when you have rich liberals who live in gated communities making the laws, it's bad for the whole country because these policies affect poor people. Poor people, like poor people in the middle class, are affected the most by illegal immigration. And so, but the rich people, they don't like rich people can vote any way they want. Their lives aren't going to change. And then the really, really poor people vote for who's going to give the most free stuff. But usually the people who are giving out the most free stuff are the ones that are letting in the illegal aliens in the first place. And then all those tax dollars go to them instead of helping out the poor citizens. But, the average voter is retarded, a simpleton. The average voter is not informed, and the people who are voting that way are using emotion instead of logic. And also, there's low voter turnout, and they cheat, so it kind of doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of.
Is shoot him, problem solved. That's what I would do. That's what I think they should. I think they should just fucking shoot him. Like, I've said this before. Like, I know that it might sound like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, see, now I think the first time I said this was at least on my channel. I mean, it was like 9 years ago. Like, because there's a few times where I've done like like a really long political show. I would talk about immigration. If you went on the southern border and had machine gun towers just every like 50 feet, or just the places where it's well, you can't cross the whole border, so just the high concentration areas, so every 50 feet you have a machine gun tower. Okay, so let's say like people are crossing the border, you're like, no, you can't come over here, we got these machine gun towers. After you shoot the first person, no one's ever gonna come again. See, the thing is, people are acting like you're gonna massacre. No, one person, once one person gets machine gunned down, trust me, mass migration, whatever, it'll stop so fast. And like word spreads. I mean, like, why do you think when Biden was president, the border was just being rushed? Because he let it be known the border's open. Now, even though he would tell the public, "Oh no, the border's closed," but he was telling them, the illegals, obviously, the border's open. And then what happens when Trump is president? People stop showing up because they know the border's closed. But imagine if we treated our border, because you remember, you don't have a country if you don't have a border. So imagine if we had East Berlin machine gun towers on our border. How many people do you think would try to sneak across the border? Because if you did sneak across, obviously you're going to get caught because there's cameras everywhere. We have the technology. What happens every time if you cross, you get shot? No one would ever show up. And so I don't know why this is like something crazy. Countries have borders. Countries protect their borders. And a lot of countries protect their borders with military. So why is we already know why Asmongold is getting banned, because they just don't like him. Because Hassan Piker can say whatever he wants, and he only gets banned when he makes fun of Jews, because Jews run everything. But for the most part, he could say whatever he wants. But and then like
I have no sympathy for doing that, and I would do that in a second. Because it's the right thing to do in the long term. You can never look at in a very, very isolated incident. You could.
I mean, it's the most milk toast take ever, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. The reason why he's considered controversial is because he's not left wing on a left wing platform. Twitch is very left leaning, because if you look at what Twitch does, You have a bunch of whores promoting their OnlyFans, and 50% of Twitch's viewers are 13 years old or under. Basically, like half the people who watch Twitch are minors, and they allow sexual content on there. So that kind of shows you the kind of people who are using Twitch. So like, all those girls doing the hot tub streams, bikini streams, just, you know, doing sexual content. Those people are evil because half of their viewers are kids. And then if you're a far leftist and talking about, we should whatever kill every Republican, you don't get banned. But if you say something that goes against, left policies, which is they want open borders and they want, you know, illegal aliens over here to destroy our country. If you say you're against that, well then it's crazy. It's controversial. So it's only controversial because of the platform he's on. So obviously, if he was on Kick or Rumble, no one would care. And then obviously on X, no one would care. And then I've been saying this on YouTube for years. Like my stuff is primarily blacklisted or shadow ban, whatever, for all the COVID stuff I did. Because like that's the only time I really had to like like I had to re-upload so many videos because they got taken down during COVID. And I think I said this before. I would like re-upload the same video but just change one or two words. And so I still got the message across. And I'm surprised YouTube didn't like retroactively go back when they were still pissed about COVID and trying to make people lie, go, oh yeah, the shot's good for you. I'm like, dude, like I would have to go back and delete like 40 videos. But I think YouTube was sick of because like YouTube was losing a lot of viewers because they were getting ousted for talking about, or I'm sorry, like using their free speech. It's whatever. Anyway, Aspen Gold just needs to stop using Twitch because the only thing he's doing is bringing more attention to Twitch, and Twitch needs to die because like we only need free speech platforms. And Twitch isn't a free speech platform. It's only a left wing speech platform, and that's why it's so degenerate. Like there's a big difference between free. Now I know X has you know a bunch of e-girls, and so anytime you have e-girls, it it's downstream of porn. Okay, so you're gonna have X-rated stuff wherever women are because women want attention and women want money, and so the easiest way for women to get money is to infiltrate men's spaces and then you know dress like a whore. So you can't escape the e-girl stuff. Um, it's just a I don't know, it's a plague on our society. But hey, I like K-pop, so whatever. Uh, and then all these people that want open borders, they all have one thing in common: they're stupid and or they're rich. So once again, nothing. Their life does not get hampered by any of this stuff. Like and I don't know what life is like to live in a gated community, but I'm sure your worldview is warped. You know, and even here in Los Angeles, there's people who want illegal aliens to be able to vote in our elections. You have to be a moron to, especially because voting, that's like something only citizens can do. And there was a time where certain people couldn't vote, and people had to fight, protest, and die for this right. And now you're just gonna give it away to an illegal alien, and then every vote that an illegal casts cancels out an American citizen's vote. I mean, that is the easiest way to destroy your country, is to have, and this has happened before, with other empires, because they all have a few things in common, and one of them is a really high influx of illegals who infiltrate, you know, um, the armed forces, or they get, voting rights because they're not, you know, they're not aligned with the views of the country, and they're detrimental to the country. And sometimes it's on purpose. A lot of times it's on purpose. And then a lot of times you have, one side of the aisle using them to boost their votes. So, the country's ass backwards. That's the problem. And the biggest threat to America are Americans that hate America. We got to get rid of those people too. So, like, if I'm talking about the ones that make it obvious. Like, if you see someone burning, like if you see an American burning an American flag, that should be instant exile. You should be exiled from the country. Seriously. Like, if we got rid of those people, this country would be great. Hey, if we had a bunch of citizens that loved America. I mean, I've never seen other countries where they have so many people that go, I hate this country. But okay, then why do you live here? And that's another thing. You have so many Americans who hate America, but why are they here? It makes no sense. America's the best country on the planet. It's getting worse because, we're letting in the wrong people, but every time we have a clip of someone else to play, I never play the clip. I play like 30 seconds of it. Like, if you want to see the clip that Asmongold said, just, go on X and just, or YouTube, and just type up Asmongold banned from Twitch, and it'll come up. But, he said the same thing I've been saying for years, where, you just, if you want people to stop invading your country, you have to enforce the border. And you do that with violence. And after, the first, whatever, 3 people get, Swiss cheesed up, people will stop showing up. And that would just make the country a better place. And I don't see why that's even an issue. Like, how come every other country can protect their border, but when America wants to do it, it's like racist? That makes no sense. And you don't see other countries taking in people. I mean, like, right after Spain got invaded by all those friggin' Muslims, other countries um closed their border with Spain. They don't want free passage back and forth between Spain and their border, because they're invaded. I mean, and then if you look at Europe, like look at France. France is horrible now. You know why? Because France let in a bunch of third world savages that don't fit in and don't assimilate. And so you have the third world mentality. See, and these people leave their countries, and they're leaving their countries because their country sucks. But then they go to a civilized society and try to make it like the country they left. You know why? Because these people are retarded. Just some people don't belong in civilized society. And I don't know why we just can't accept that. It's the same with the people who've been in and out of jail 15 times. Okay, like, if someone's been in jail for 15 times for, random violent crimes, you should, they just don't belong. You gotta get rid of them. Whatever, exile or just lock them up for life. You know, if someone's been arrested, whatever, 15 times for assault, that person doesn't belong in society. I just saw a video of some guy walking around beating up random white women. Wait, I couldn't look it up. Right here. Look at this video.
Nah, don't wave to me. You still talking? You still talking, July 20? Say like him. Say.
Yeah, so this woman, I think this is in South Carolina, I think. This woman is just walking down the street, waves, says hi to the black guy, and he knocks her out cold. And apparently he's been in and out of jail for violent crime like 12 times. Okay? So if a person's been in and out of jail 12 times for just random violence, why are they out on the street?
Elijah! Elijah! Elijah, my son! Motherfucker, you playing? Motherfucker, you playing? Fucking balloons, nigga! Fucking balloons! You fucking glasses, that's what you do? 21st, that's the real issue.
What?
Nah, don't wave to me.
Knocked
you still talking?
her
You still talking to
out cold. One hit knocked her out cold. Her face is already swollen. And then this same guy.
So with that McDonald's shit. So with that McDonald's shit, bitch. You wanna run, bitch? You wanna run, motherfucker? Huh? Huh? I bet you run again, motherfucker. I bet you run again, motherfucker. You said something else? You said something? You said something, motherfucker? You said something? You playing, nigga? You playing, nigga? You fucking playing, nigga? What's up with that McDonald's shit? You Donald Trump, motherfucker, and that other motherfucker who raped my son Elijah, I'ma fucking kill you, nigga. You a fuck, nigga. You heard what the fuck
Dude, avoid black people. You just gotta avoid them.
I said, motherfucker.
You just have
Shut
to
the
avoid
fuck
these
up,
people.
nigga. Huh?
You have to avoid these people. It's just that simple. Like, some people just don't belong in society. Okay? Why is this guy not in jail for life? He obviously doesn't want to fit in society. You know, and it's bad enough we have to deal with, like, we have so many problems, and a lot of them are just caused by retards and just crazy people, you know? And then he's been in jail like 12 other times. So how come the judge on like time number 10 just didn't keep him locked up for life? I don't understand. Like, how many times you're gonna let someone out for committing random acts of violence? You know, like, we have to stop voting for judges who do that as well. Like, I mean, there's so many ways to make society better, and we have people who actively try to make society worse. That is America's biggest enemy. We have people who are constantly trying to make society worse on purpose. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.